Hey everyone, I'm Brittany Harrington from Candlewood Lake Media Group. I'm here today at Retro Remix, located at 4 Railroad Street in New Milford. And I'm here with Beth, the owner, and we're about to jump into what makes this boutique so unique. How are you today?
I'm good, Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. So, for those who haven't visited yet, what is Retro Remix? How would you describe this place?
Well, it's a lot of things, actually. It's a combination of taking some vintage pieces that we find and we curate along the way that make this either mid-century modern flavor, rustic kind of flavor to the customer. And then we add in handmade products from different countries, such as Africa. We're doing very well with our African hand-dyed baskets. The friend of mine that helps me with the store has traveled near and far and has curated the store based on her specific findings from other countries. So we've been having fun with that. Interesting handmade candles that we're having fun with, small batch, you know, maple syrup. So I'm trying to bring a different connection in this spot that I've seen in the stores surrounding me. I travel all over the world for myself, as you know, that's what I do for a living in my other life. And I've seen a lot of curated little shops like this, mixing vintage clothing. So you'll find a lot of fun, casual pieces and casual style for your home. And everything here has a purpose. There's no little tchotchkes that just sit on a shelf. It's not thrifted and it's not goodwilled. It's actually found from estate sales and auctions and interesting people coming to me and say, hey, would you be interested in buying this? So I've had a lot of fun doing it.
So, what inspired you to start a boutique like this? Like, what made you want to blend the global trends into a local shop here in New Milford?
Part of it is from my personal experience in my career. I work for a manufacturing company and we do mass manufacturing of clothing, and we mostly deal in China and India. And I've found that clothing has become almost like hoarded throughout the retail market, and there's no individual taste level to it. It's mass. You see one shirt, you see 60 of them, or 600 of them. Actually, I see 6,000 of them. But I wanted to curate the clothing to people that have a casual lifestyle. They want something unique, or they want something repurposed, finding a new life for it. Not just going into a mass retailer and buying something that is overseen and overused and not well made anymore. My product is from the year, I would say 2005 backwards. I try to stay in Y2K and backwards because that's when clothing had a better needle, better quality, and more interesting, I would have to say.
How do you combine the modern trends that we have today with the style of the Y2K era?
Well, the modern trends are coming from the past. So this is what I do for a living.
It was a trick question.
I know, yeah, I should know this answer. So basically, I'm seeing the trends regurgitate themselves over the course of time. And my age doesn't, I'm older. So I'm from the 70s era and the 80s era and the 90s era. So I've seen these trends, going throughout. My son, I have grandchildren in Chicago that are in their 20s and in their teens. So I'm seeing them gravitate, watching shows, TV, looking backwards. There's so much intel, and then there's such a huge surge of vintage going on.
Yeah.
And kids are understanding that they don't want to buy new anymore. They want to buy Goodwill. They go thrifting. They know. And Google search is a big thing too.
Yeah.
You see people get their cameras. Ooh, where's that? How much is it worth? What is it? So there's so much the internet has brought to everybody as well.
Yes.
And it has hit countrywide, and it's also hit internationally. I know that, when you go out of the country, it's huge everywhere you go now. Everybody's into vintage.
Well, I'm a 90s baby, so that's why I said, I was like, this is kind of a trick question.
And my son's a 90s baby, so I've watched that,
Yes.
and I laugh when I see kids, but, oh, I was like, I did that when I was, 16. I wore that when I was 9, So you see it coming back and, coming back into people's lives. And then I look at the kids that are in their 30s, and they're much more conscious about the earth and where things come from. And, I thought my son would never buy vintage. And he's like, oh, he came in the store. He's like, Mom, I want to buy this jacket. I'm like, you're going to buy vintage? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't want to spend on new stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It lasts longer. It's cooler. It's got a story to it.
It's got a history.
It's got a history.
Exactly.
I mean, I wear vintage, so I've always worn vintage throughout my whole life. I went vintage shopping in the city when there was the best vintage stores around.
So you'd say you curate.
Teens.
Oh,
My
so you
teens.
say you curate
Yes.
this store based on needs of not only your customers, but anything in this store would be something that you would purchase.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. Some of it's some things I have purchased, and then I'm giving back.
Yes.
Because I've used them myself. So they're and I'm vintage, so therefore it's never getting vintage.
Oh, I'm vintage.
But I love the response and the reaction to people when they come in the store. I love the comfort level when they come and they feel it's very homey.
Yeah.
I make sure the store smells well, and it doesn't smell, because sometimes vintage can smell. So you've got to. I wash everything over and over till there's no smell to them.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I clean it. It's clean.
So what can people find here, like product wise? Are we talking about just clothing, home decor, and accessories?
Beauty. I also do some new things. So I do a lot of beauty care. So there's like a lot of lotions and scrubs. Some are handmade by people I know, loofahs and whatnot. Everything's mostly natural. I do tallow butter. I do canned soaps bar soap for the kitchen, bar soaps for your hair, scalp. I do dog wash. I have handmade and upcycled dog stuff that I have a friend makes, upcycled dog coats. We have catnip upcycled into little denim pockets from old jeans.
Apparently my
Apparently,
husband must have found that, because I think it's sitting on your front
You
shelf.
guys have that catnip from me. So we're still feeling and testing the customer out. I do art, but old art, interesting art, right behind me. There's, I love warm colors. I like the warmth of what I've done. The store is becoming a piece of art for me. Where it's going, how do you curate? What shelf does it go on? Where should it be? Where should it sit? How does it best live its life on the shelf to be bought? It's an art to that as well. Mixing the new with the old. Does it all sit together?
Yeah.
What's the flavor? So you have to really think about it and think about what the flavor is. I like upcycled products. I do cashmeres in here. There's cashmere upcycled gloves. I have upcycled clothing from a friend of mine who's a designer that is a denim designer, and she's upcycled old vintage, true vintage clothing, and she's added it with other vintage pieces to create another item. And I've had great success with that for her. So it's been a lot of fun, and there's always this stress of, where am I going to find that? Once they buy that beautiful piece you love, where am I going to get another one? Or how am I going to get something that's going to replace it? So you're always hunting for the best of the best and not overcharging.
Yeah.
I want it to be affordable. If I get a great opportunity at a price, I'm going to afford it back to the customer.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing from everybody, that my prices are great. The curation is great. It's a welcoming store. So I'm really pleased with the beginning. It's only been 3 months.
Yeah.
And I've had a great reaction, and that's been really, it just makes me smile.
That's awesome. So how often do you bring new or one-of-a-kind items, and what makes your selection stand out from typical boutiques?
So there's something new in here almost every day. So whether it be 1 piece or 8 pieces or 12 pieces, I'm constantly looking for and searching for new product. So that has to happen around the clock. I can't have customers come in and see the same thing over. Plus, Christmas will be over, and I have to start to think about what am I going to work on for spring. So I'm testing those pieces throughout the store as I go, and I'm finding they're gone. I buy them when I bought new stuff last week into the store. It's gone. Somebody came in the other day, last week actually, and she says, "I think I'm going to think about this piece. I want to buy it for a gift." She left. 4 days later, it was sold. So when you see that one of a kind, when there's one, you have to take it.
Yeah.
Or it's gone. I had another woman come in last night. I'm going to be back for that on Sunday. Would you? And I'm not making this up. This morning, somebody came in and bought it.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful, statue that I had, and it was gone. So you really, it's really a constant. You have to constantly refill and replace. I have customers that are in a small space. You shop. That's why there's a lot to take in, so that people can see newness. You have to always have newness. As far as how I stand out from another shop, I don't know that answer yet. I know that actually I do know that answer, and I don't want to sound arrogant because it could come off that way, but I do shop for a living in my other career, and I do shop clothing boutiques, and I'm a boutique shopper because I have to knock off higher end boutiques and bring them to the mass market. That's part of my job, and curate into that. So I've been doing that my whole life. I mean, a whole career, 40 years. So I've seen every boutique in Connecticut that there is on the eastern and western side of the state. And, and even a little bit, further out, when you go towards Massachusetts, I've shopped Massachusetts, I've shopped in Midwest, I've shopped in Paris, and, and I'm in down Florida. And the uniqueness of this store, and there's nothing really like it in the surrounding area. Even when you go to Beacon and you go to Hudson, there's new clothing with new product of a similar nature, but it's not the recycled, the upcycled, the blend. And you see more of this in some places. You might see it in Brooklyn or on the Lower East Side.
I was gonna say,
that would be
the
Lower
vibe
East Side.
here.
Yes, the vibe, and that's what I wanted to bring to New Milford and to Connecticut. I wanted to bring something fresh.
Yes.
I wanted to bring fresh eyes, fresh ideas, and I'm getting that response. I'm learning what does sell and what doesn't sell, but it's really hard to make that assumption until 6 months to 8 months, because what I thought wasn't going to sell, now I've sold almost as much. So when I look at my, I look at the, what I do on my reports, I'm like, well, that picked up. So I guess but I don't want to do the same thing over and over. I want to give a new batch of something else. I'm very attuned to smells and what people like. And I've been like that since I'm a little girl. I like the smells of certain colognes and certain scents. And I like to bring that into the store. And it's been successful because, oh my God, your store smells good. Oh my God, I love this hand cream. Oh my God, the smell of the soap. Oh, the shampoo. And that's fun to see. I can go into some places, candles. Ooh, that's bad. I don't want that. And I'm constantly smelling everything to make sure. So even I can't just buy blindly on a website. I have to smell everything to make sure it fits into the store or that it fits into what I want to bring forth to the customer.
I feel like that's what makes your store unique and actually a one-on-one experience, because anybody can go on Amazon and shop for a candle or do it in a mass market setting. I mean, here you've really integrated a lot of different smells and a lot of unique characters. I mean, even the candles that I'm looking at right now. It's character.
Yeah.
I mean, you have got an asparagus candle standing right there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm obsessed with those candles.
I looked at them the last time I was here. I was like, it's an actual character. Like it's an experience where I don't think I would ever think to go on Amazon and look for an asparagus candle.
Right.
So
I
I think
never
it's
even
interesting.
saw one in my
Yeah.
life, so I was like, wow, I have to have that.
And now somebody's going to be like, I have to go to Retro Remix to see the
I
asparagus
just got
candle.
somebody came in. This is a true story. 2 weeks ago, a customer came in, and if she ever sees this, she'll admit to it. She goes, I am getting every one of those candles for my holiday Thanksgiving dinner. And I said, well, you're not going to light them, are you? She goes, of course I'm going to light them. I'm like, you're going to light the carrot? I'm like, don't light the carrot. So I was like, you're going to have to come back and buy more for next year. So, but it was just fun to see that. And the same thing goes for not just the scents, the items I choose. I want to make sure that, like, the glasses, I've got a thing for hand blown glasses. I have lists of people that want me. I found a bunch and they sold out immediately. They a list of, but they're specific. They're not just plain hand blown glasses. They're magnificent. So I'm on a search and constantly looking for those kind of things for my customers. Or if it doesn't fit my store, I'm not going to buy it. Somebody came in to ask me if I would buy something from them the other day, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just I feel bad, but it's not what I want in the store. I have to really be true to what I want it to be. It has to work, and I'm having fun with that.
Yeah, talk more about what you want the customer to experience when they enter your doors at Retro Remix.
It's the wow factor. Wow. Oh my God, look at you. Oh my God, look at this. This is beautiful. Oh my God, I love these glasses. Or I love this. This is such a cool idea. Oh my God, the way you've curated the store. It's so interesting. I want people to come in here and feel at home. That's the first thing I want them to do. I want them to feel welcome. And it's not necessarily just from me, but by the whole ambiance of the store. So when you walk in, you want to feel like, wow, this is very cozy, warm, inviting, unique, interesting, well curated. And that's pretty much what I've been getting. I don't like to upsell people, so I let them take their moments to take in the store, and there's a lot to take in. And I watched somebody go through one thing, and then she's like, wait a minute, I didn't see that. And she went back the other way. So I didn't see that. I was like, because you have to really look at everything. And I love that. And then when they come in the next time, like, oh, they buy something else. And I'm getting the repeat customer in. I'm getting the first responders. And it's kind of interesting to get the idea of what they like. Everybody's loving my socks. You can't see them from here, but the socks that I'm selling on the animal, so it's a theme of save the wolves, save the goat, save the horses. And every specific sock has a different, one was horse rescue. It was like a rehabilitation for horses. One was save the wolves. I've saved the cats and dogs. Of course, you have to save the cats and dogs. You're not a human if you don't.
Yeah.
And I have goats, so I had to buy the goat one. But that those are selling very well because every sock I buy, $1 goes to that. That whatever that organization is.
Yeah.
And so it has a purpose. Again, there's an underlying purpose for it. There's something, there's women helping women, small women's groups that make wool bowls in I think it's Peru. Peru. And I have different little things. So there might be new, but some are made from recycled wool.
Yeah.
And so you're always giving a purpose to whatever that is in the store. I try to really stay in small batches and natural.
So what type of trends are you seeing since opening in the fall? I know you've touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but is there something that we should be keeping our eye on for your, an upcoming curation or let me rephrase that because that didn't really make sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You really can't put your finger on that because trends last a long time if it's a good quality of something. So let's talk about mid-century modern, for instance. That's still a trend. And you can mix things in. People don't have to be fully mid-century modern to have a mid-century modern piece. But some of the glassware is mid-century modern. So maybe they want it in just their houseware as a decor because it's pretty and it's unique. Everybody has such a different taste level. It's so hard.
Yeah.
You have farmhouses up here with people that have rustic ideas. So there's that rustic kind of, idea. People love wood. So I have a lot of wood pieces in here. People love glassware. People love candles. It changes all the time. So right now, because I'm still new in what I'm selling, I'm sticking with the clothing level. I'm finding is, of course we're in winter. It's flannel, but layering like a jacket, so it's got some kind of a warm underpiece
Yes.
feeling to it, cozy. Um, People, I thought I'd do better with sweatshirts at first, but they don't want the sweatshirts. They want those jackets. Women and men alike. Women, it's a unisex clothing. I think it's more unisex. Women and men alike wear it. So I'm finding a lot of women wearing some of the men's pieces I bought. Of course, any kind of workwear. Workwear is huge right now in the industry in what I do. So workwear has been huge. Everybody went to farming and doing all of these, outdoor planting. So you've got a lot of people doing a lot of outdoor activities, and workwear can work into that as well.
Yeah.
So I see, and I know that from what I do for a living because I have a workwear brand that I'm working with. So anything that it's just you can learn a trend by young people. Whatever you see kids wanting, that's the trend.
Why did you choose New Milford? Why?
I love a walking town.
Yeah.
There's no
It is
walking towns.
perfect.
You really don't have any walking towns other than Ridgefield, which is bougie and high end, and
There's
they're
Bethel.
starting to Bethel is, but they're not as I don't think that Bethel is as up and coming as New Milford is. New Milford, because you're on the you're in the right near you're not far from 80. Well, you're not far from Bethel's. Same thing.
Well,
but-
no, you do have to drive through. You have to drive through Danbury, get off,
Yeah.
on the Newtown
Then you
Road, and
gotta
then
go
go
all
all
the
the
way
way
around.
through. Where
Yeah.
yes, I can see where you just come up the connector and boom, you're in New
Right.
Milford.
I think every area is known for certain things, and New Milford, I think there's so much opportunity. There's so many cute little boutiques that have opened up here,
Yes.
and restaurants. You're getting a better restaurant blend. You've got new restaurants coming in, and you're getting a good influx of people coming from the city and from New York, and you get a lot of Sherman, you get a lot of Pauling, you get a lot of like the New York State border. So I'm finding a lot of that too. And then I think that the town does such a great job on the green,
yes.
and they do such an amazing job at bringing the community together, the mayor and the Chamber of Commerce. And I think that there's just so many activities that are happening here that bring the shops together. And,
Yes.
and the camaraderie is phenomenal. I mean, I've been so blessed with my neighbors in the restaurants and down at the Bomb, and just the area. I haven't gone up Bank Street that much, but I've shopped around, and there's some great shops up there as well. But it's really comforting to see that people surround and support.
Yes.
And that's, I think, one of the main reasons why I picked New Milford.
That's a perfect
Yeah, it
answer.
is,
I
right?
just I had to ask because I'm a New Milford resident, so I was just like, why
But do
why
you see
here?
it? Like being a
Yeah.
resident, you must see it.
Oh yeah. I worked in Bethel for a while, so that's how I knew there is a good walking community down there, but there's nothing like New Milford. New Milford is a very strong community based, and we do love our small businesses. I mean, I'm creating my business around small businesses to
Right.
rally and try to make this work so we stop having such a heavy turnover.
Right.
And that's really important to me.
I
So
think that's great. I think what you're doing is great.
so
the
I,
community.
for me, it's great that when I come here, you're not the only one that's saying I feel supported by our town government, by our Chamber of Commerce. Like that's heavily important to me as a resident, as a taxpayer. But it's great for me because I like to see the same people succeed.
Right.
That's the point of this.
Right. You don't want to see people go in and out. Competition is important.
Yes.
Because everybody supports each other. It's very important. And at being diverse, it's a diverse set of stores. I think every store has a reason and a purpose to be here. And it's not, you go like, you can go into stores in I want to say like, what's called Portchester, or you can go down into the city, and everything is the same everywhere you go. And it's like, who has the better? Here I think you've got just a great collection of different vibes that everybody goes in. And look, my store's not for everybody, I'm sure. And just like every other store, you find you like it or you don't. But I'm finding that people have thanked me for opening up this store.
Mm-hmm.
Grateful that you're here and excited to see New Milford boom. And we need more stores like yours.
Yes.
And to hear that, you know that the town was starving for it. Because it is a cute community. It is a great opportunity for this town to bring money into it and bring, people shopping like Beacon has done to the, in New York, and Hudson, which was a nothing town that became a booming. Hudson, New York is so successful. And it's, you want to be a destination. You have the corridor to do so. You have New Preston, you have, Bantam, you have all of those Litchfield, you've got a great opportunity coming through, starting here and ending here.
Yes.
So it's a good beginning and a good ending for people to come to, and affordable.
Yes.
They can go out for dinner with their family and eat next door, or eat at, Cowboy Butter or whatever. Iron Rail, I eat there almost every day. It's embarrassing. And they're lovely. They're just lovely people. The pizza place, delicious, So it's so nice to have that. I live in Newtown, and that's not a walking town. The walking part of the town is all private homes.
Yeah.
And then everything's a supermarket or almost like a plaza. And they're trying to do that to Sandy Hook now, where they're bringing a little bit of walking. There's boutique down there. There's, chocolatier down there, restaurants going down there. So we just got 2 new restaurants. And so there's like 5 restaurants down there now, where we didn't have that before. I've been here since 2018. And I'm hoping that it just keeps, percolating and happens, because it's a great area as well. But this specific area, now all they need to do is do a commuter train, and we'd be in. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. How has the community responded so far, and what has meant the most since opening?
So it's been a slow start of the community understanding I'm here, because it took me a while to get into the space and then get my sign up, and nobody knew I was here, and I was like practically dancing in the street. So surprise. Oh, thank God something went in here. So the response has been, wow, oh my goodness. And as I said before, thank you for opening. I haven't had any negative connotations towards this space. I've gotten only positive. Wow, you did such an amazing job on such an awkward space, because it's narrow and long, but the character of the staircase and everything, the blend, people are responsive to that. So I've gotten some really great, a lot of compliments. And I'm always, happy to hear that, and meeting new people, and everybody's lovely. I really think that not a lot of people are from here. You get a lot of outsiders, because that whole Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
So you bring a lot of people from other areas, even post the Gilmore Girl, event. It's amazing that so I started watching it, because of course I never saw it. And so I watch it for, what are they wearing? What do they do? What is the, what's the vibe of the show? And so that I can kind of inject it without having a Gilmore Girl,
rah in your face.
Because other stores already do that. I don't need to implement that in here. This is not a kitschy store. I don't want to be lake life and this life, and that's never been who I was. So I really want it to be true to my own personality. Not that I think that there's anything wrong with that.
No. There's already stores that are doing that.
Why do we need more of that? Let them have their
moment.
Their moment. And also, you go into Shakespeare's Garden, and it's just so beautifully curated. They do such a good job in Brookfield. And it's, more of a plant company, so they do a lot more in planting and stuff. But I like that vibe. It's very beautiful. I want to bring elegance, but not expensive. And that's what I think I'm getting, that vibe from people. Like, oh, what an unusual shop. What unusual things. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Or, it's nice like that. So that's the response.
Do you collaborate with any local makers?
I have not collaborated with local, because a lot of the local people are already in the local stores.
Yes.
And again, I don't want to take from, the wind out of their sails. So if there were local people that weren't in any store, I would collaborate. So I've been collaborating with people that I've found through my shopping experiences, just because I like their product, and bringing it forth and seeing how it responds in this area. And a lot of the product that I bring into the store from other areas, people know it because they've gone to New York and gotten it, or they've gotten it. So I'm getting stuff that you can't necessarily see in the local stores because they all carry that stuff.
Yeah.
So again, I want friendly competition, not, direct head-on competition. That's not always right. And I learned that from what I do for a living. Then it's a price thing. Who's going to do a better price? Who's going to be cheaper? And everybody should do well. The customers should do well. The retailer should do well, and everybody should have their own identity.
Well, if you think that way, and the competition starts, nobody's going to win. You're just going to keep undercutting prices till you're not making a profit. Right. They're not making a profit, and then there is no business.
It's not
to be
even
had.
fair to the local person. It really
Exactly,
is not fair to the local person because then they're torn.
Yeah,
so that I don't look. I'm a small batch store. I don't have a big store, so I carry a little bit of everything. And then I'll replenish if necessary, or I'll find something new to bring on. I find when you become redundant, you lose your originality, and everything here should always stay original.
And I feel like all of you guys in this area do a really good job at staying original and staying within your own niche.
Your lane.
And yes, exactly, because that's it. My husband says it all the time, that competition happens at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top, and I feel that is what is happening here, and it makes me proud to be a part of this community because that's really what we're doing here.
Right.
And that's important because it's teaching everybody that's going to come after us exactly how to follow in these footsteps. Correct. And hopefully you're still here. Right. So you know what I'm saying?
You want to be here. You want people to come back. That's the whole purpose of it.
Exactly. For somebody visiting the store for the first time, what's one must-see item or a collection that they shouldn't miss?
I know there's so many things I love in this store that it's hard to say that. I would say that there's some interesting pieces in here that are so unique. Like I have these amazing denim patchwork blankets that are handmade with all vintage denim pockets and denim pieces, patchworked together to make a full-size bedding. And I think that's one of my favorite pieces in this store. Then I sold some of my most favorite hand-blown decanters. And I just sold the last of it today. I would say that my baskets are very special. And I love all my baskets. The clothing. Finding the right jacket, the leather jackets, the vintage leather is what I do well with. And the Carhartts, the vintage Carhartts that are really worn and look really, they're well priced. They're priced to sell. I don't know. You fall in love with a lot of things, and I guess a lot of things that I have, like, there's things in here that I have that I'm glad I have them and they sell, but I don't think they're the most unique thing in the store.
Yeah.
I think that they're a great item to sell. And I think my socks, I love my socks, but they're socks.
Yeah.
I don't fall in love with socks. When I get something really fun, and it's usually one piece. So it's hard to, say that because then it's usually sold in a minute. So I think it's just my newest item that I put in the store I get excited about. And I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough question.
I'll come back again and we'll revisit that question.
We'll have to. I don't know. I'm looking around going, I don't know. One thing I fell in love with, I wasn't for sale. So this was this true story that happened last night at the Sip and Stroll, and a woman came in and she told me a beautiful story about her mother, and she said I had this beautiful old ceramic Christmas tree, a vintage Christmas tree with every bulb on it, with every piece, everything worked. And it was in my window right here. But it wasn't for sale because it was going to be my Christmas tree because I was because I hurt myself and I couldn't put my own Christmas tree up this year. So that was going to be my Christmas tree. And my best friend said, you can't sell that. So we were together last night doing the store, working in the store. And the woman comes and she goes, don't tell me that's NFS. I don't like when stores say NFS, not for sale. That's I can't stand it. I go, but it's NFS. So she goes, I'm not listening to that. I'll pay you this cash. I'm like, well, that's not for sale. And then she told me the story, and I'm like, oh my God. And I looked at my friend who told me not to sell it. And she goes, oh, you should sell it. I'm like, you just made me the bad guy. And I sold it to her because the story was so beautiful that she wanted it because it reminded her of her mother who had just passed. And I'm like, how do you not?
Yeah.
So so those are the things that I love to pass on and pass forward. But again, I sold something I wanted. So now I'm like in mad search for another one and it's hard to find. Again, I fall in love with every piece I buy. And when it sells, I fall more in love with it because I'm like, oh my God, it sold. You just get sad. You're like, bye, have a nice life. You're going to have a new life. And but that makes me smile too at the same time.
And that is the point.
That's the point of the store.
Yeah, exactly. The whole repurpose and recycle, it's an upcycle. It's part of the name. Unfortunately, it happened to you,
but you know what? You asked. I'm going to go backwards. You asked me what is the best compliment or what I want to hear from my customers. It's not words. It's when they buy something and they love it. When you see somebody come so excited with a piece to the counter and pay for it, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate gift. So every time I do that, it empowers me to do better. And I'm always somebody that's always looking up to keep going up. And that's how I know this is going to be good because I'm competitive to myself and I'm competitive for my customer. But not to other stores. Yeah. To my own product in the store. And that's, I think, what makes you successful.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. I agree. So where can people find you physically and where can people find you online?
So physically, I'm at 4 Railroad Street in New Milford, Connecticut, on the down part of the hill off the 2 main streets of Bank and Main. So we are the last to be visited, but I'm right next to the iron rail, and I'm proud of that. And I am physically on Instagram and Facebook, so you can shop Retro Remix. And I am in the process of building an online store. The online store will only feature my vintage pieces. It will not feature anything that's new because I don't want to compete with them, whether they have their own online, I don't know. But I want it to be the original pieces. And I probably won't ship glass, so it'll be mostly my clothing. And I'm hiring somebody actually this Christmas to start taking the pictures. The website is actually up, but it's not for public to see yet. Because it's got to be, pictures have to be dropped in.
No, understood.
Measurements. Yeah. It's a long process. So I hired somebody. This is what she does for a living from Manhattan. She's actually my best friend's daughter-in-law.
Nice.
And she's going to be doing it. She's actually vintage, so I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, thank you so much, Beth, for having us here.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for finding me.
So if you haven't visited Retro Remix yet, please come down to 4 Railroad Street in New Milford, and we look forward to seeing you in the next local spotlight. Have a good day. Bye.